Hey guys, I wanted to do this video outdoors and enjoy a little bit of the sunshine. I typically only film in the evening or like at 2 a.m., so I'm usually indoors with artificial light. So it feels nice to actually be out in the sunlight. I wanted to show you the Datsusara Recon Hoodie today and what I like about the hoodie, what I don't, how it compares to my other hoodies, and where I think that it fits into my overall repertoire, which I think it does. I think it has a place, I think it fits. I think it's the best thing that I have to fill that niche, and I'll show you why. So, the Datsusara hoodie, first of all, it's more of a hooded jacket, I think, because it has a zipper. I'm 5'10", 185. You might hear a lawnmower in the background occasionally. That's just real life. I'm not going to worry about trying to shoot around it. It's got a really good zipper, which I really like. It's strong, it's smooth, but I like the zipper for a couple of reasons. And I have a hoodie. So Lolo Fernandez hoodie, shout out to Lolo Fernandez, number 9 from Peru. He's played in like the 40s or 50s, most of you won't know him. This was a gift from my buddy Chino in Peru. Thank you, Chino. Shout out to you. One thing I love about this hoodie is that it's really tight. Let me just show you. So it fits me, it's like a snuggly hoodie that I would wear at night. But one of the reasons I wouldn't wear this probably if I went to work or if I were going out during the day is that it fits so tightly around my head that I would basically need to, you know, I'm not too vain, but it's probably going to mess your hair up when you take it off or put it back on. And if you're wearing a hat at the same time, by the way, this is a Datsusara hat, it doesn't leave you a lot of room. See what I'm saying? It's pretty tight. And you can obviously get a larger hoodie. That's not the point. But if I want something that I can shed, if I want like a layer that I can take off and put back on any time of the day without worrying about messing up my hair or anything else, I like a hoodie with a zipper or a hooded jacket. This hoodie, another thing I want to point out about it is how thick it is. You know, this is like a thick sweatshirt. It might even be 2 layers of thick cotton. And it's kind of tough to layer over that unless I'm putting on a significantly larger jacket or I just end up feeling really bulky. And one thing I really like about the Datsusara hoodie is it's thin. It's lightweight. So, it's something that I would consider like a temperate weather hoodie. You can definitely layer with it, and it's good to layer with. But if you're just going to wear it on its own, say over a t-shirt, I think it's perfect for anything from 50 to 70 degrees. It breathes really well, so, I mean, right now it's probably, I don't know what the temperature is right now, I don't know why I even looked at my watch, but it feels like 65 or 70 degrees out here, and I feel completely comfortable in this hoodie because it breathes really well. Like I said, I'm 5'10", 185, and this is a medium, so it fits me a little bit tighter, maybe like an athletic hoodie. But I like that because if it gets colder, I can easily layer this thing under another jacket. You know, and it just feels like I'm wearing a long sleeve t-shirt. So it's perfect for layering. But if you want to get a size larger, like if you're my size and you wanted to get a large, I used to own one of these for many years in a size large, and I just found that I didn't wear it as often. It felt a little bit too large, but the medium I feel like fits into my life a little better. It's a little more in line with what I do every day and how I dress. So the hood on this, you'll notice compared to the last hoodie I put on, this hoodie is considerably larger, okay? And it's also lighter weight. It doesn't fit my face really tight. It kind of hangs loosely, almost like a cloak hood, which, you know, without a hat, maybe you don't want this hanging in your face. But with a hat, I think it's perfect. So this hoodie to me is kind of made to be worn with a hat if you're gonna wear the hood. And you'll notice on the side I have this sports mesh fabric sewn into the sides of the hood. And you don't notice it until you wear another hoodie. But if you're just wearing this hoodie, you kind of take for granted that you do have extra peripheral vision through this mesh fabric, and sometimes it's just with the light that shines through the mesh. So I can actually see shadows over here on the inside of this mesh when anything is moving in my peripheral vision, and it kind of gives me a heads up. And sometimes I feel when I'm wearing a hood, especially with a hat, if I'm driving, I have complete tunnel vision. I can't, see out the side windows without turning my head. But if I'm walking around with this hood, I don't know, I just feel like I have a little bit more awareness in my peripheral vision, and I like that. Another thing I really like, my normal hoodie obviously only has the one pocket that goes all the way across your belly, right? Like the hand warmer pocket. This hoodie has tons of pockets. So it's got the regular outside pocket here, but one thing I really like is that this pocket is deep, and the actual pocket doesn't start for about 2 inches. So stuff doesn't just fall out of my pocket easily because the pocket actually goes in and down a couple of inches. Then I've got these really big inside pockets. So you got an inside pocket there, but then there's a third inside pocket over here to the side, which actually leads to the inside lining of the hoodie. And at first I thought it was maybe a mistake until I noticed that it's hemmed all the way around, and it appears on both sides. So you've actually got 3 pockets on each side of the hoodie. Outside, inside, and then a pocket that cuts straight inside the 2 layers of the lining. And that's a massive pocket, so you can hide stuff all throughout this hoodie if you want. There are 2 things I would change, and my other hoodies don't have these features, so this is not a place where it sort of lacks behind, but it is something that I would like to see. And one of my biggest problems with hoodies is the drawstrings getting pulled every which way. One ends up longer than the other. It's a pain in the ass. Occasionally one of them will get snagged or pulled on by a kid, and it pulls all the way up inside. So what I usually end up doing is putting a knot in the end of the drawstring. But you could solve this problem completely at the factory by just putting some stitches right here in the center of the top of the hood, and that would keep the drawstring from pulling one side or the other. And since this is still the midpoint of the hood, you would still be able to get the same amount of pull from each string, but it would be impossible for one string to become longer than the other or for the string to get pulled out. And for the few people who don't want drawstrings, they could still pull them out a little ways and trim them off, and you wouldn't see them. So Chris, if you're out there, I think considering a couple of stitches in the peak of the hood here to keep the drawstring in one place, I think that'd be a good idea. The other thing I would consider is taking some of this drawstring material and just putting a tiny little belt loop, basically, on the chest. And that would be for hanging sunglasses in. Because one of the problems that I have with any kind of a shirt is if you're wearing your sunglasses in your collar, the shirts that I wear anyway, it keeps the sunglasses pressed right up against my throat. It's just kind of an uncomfortable position. But I don't like putting them in my pockets or in my belt or anything else. I usually just end up balancing them on my head. But if I had one little tiny belt loop on the chest of this hoodie, maybe one on either side, depending on what hand you use, or just one, I would have a place to hang my sunglasses, and they would be easy to retrieve. So that might be a thought. But for the most part, I think this is a great hoodie. It's lightweight, it's breathable, it's a great athletic hoodie, like a jogging hoodie. It's great for layering over a t-shirt in temperate weather, or if you want to layer up, this one can easily fit between a t-shirt and an outer jacket and just adds one more layer of protection. Plus, just like all the other hemp stuff, I rarely wash this thing. It's extremely durable, it never smells, it's antimicrobial. So again, this is the Datsusara Recon Hoodie, and I'll throw a link below. Check it out. Thanks. One other quick bit of business that I forgot to mention. I said the other day that literally everything I was wearing in my first Datsusara video was made by Datsusara, only to later realize that my wristwatch is technically something I'm wearing, and it's not made by Datsusara. They don't make wristwatches. However, my wristwatch band is made out of canvas. So, Chris, I think you guys might need to make a prototype watch band and let me try it out. Just one of those universal watch bands. So everybody, I'll put Datsusara's Twitter. Everybody go tweet at Datsusara and tell them A, to check out this video, but B, that they maybe need to start thinking about canvas watch bands. A quick addendum in selfie mode, and I've already put all my stuff away, but I forgot to mention one thing I really appreciate about the Datsusara Recon Hoodie is inside. You see that little loop? It's for hanging it on coat hooks. I constantly deal with hanging my hoodie on coat hooks by the hood, which ends up stretching out the hood and giving you one of those like weird nipples on top of your head. So Datsusara thought about that, and they gave you a loop inside the hood, or inside the hoodie, to hang it up on a hook, and I appreciate that. What's up guys, this is Eric. I'm in downtown Tulsa. I wanted to show you some modifications that I made to the Datsusara Recon Hoodie. So you'll find out that I love modifying pretty much everything. And I had mentioned in my last hoodie video that I thought that the hoodie needed to be stitched up top so that the drawstring couldn't be pulled out. And I still believe that should be done from the factory, but I'm not really a guy that uses drawstrings at all anyway. So I went to the tailor, I had my drawstring removed, and instead I had her install a secondary zipper. And so, like like the tailor, you're probably asking, why would I need a secondary zipper in my hood instead of a drawstring? Let me answer that question. Thanks to the Recon Hoodie's mesh stripe for your peripheral vision, you bring those sides together and I can see perfectly clearly through this. Now, I have a built-in ski mask / stealth recon mask in my stealth recon hoodie. A couple of other things I added. I probably look like I'm making a terrorist video right now. A couple of other things I added to the jacket. I removed the drawstring and I had it stitched across the seam on the chest. So now I have some little work loops to attach my sunglasses, a work light, and if you're constantly needing a Sharpie for your job, boop, handy little Sharpie loop right there. Cargo loops and a zipper on the hood. Those are my modifications on the Datsusara Stealth Recon Hoodie. My shoutro for this episode is a guy that I actually look up to. He does essentially a much better job of what I do on my channel, and that is Eli over at ZNA. He doesn't need my help. He doesn't need me to push subscribers his way. He's doing really well. But I kind of look to him as a version of what I want my channel to be someday. He makes weapons, he tests weapons, he does a lot of build videos, but he's also just a really interesting guy. I like his personality and his perspective. So I'll put a link below, but check out Eli over at ZNA.